This is either gonna be beautiful, hideous, or both. I know where I put my money at. Woodworkers love cutting boards, and for good reason, because man, look at them. They're beautiful. You can make amazing patterns out of them. They're so nice that you just wanna touch them and not even use them, just a little touch. What if we go the opposite though, and just take some construction lumber, like some 2x4s, and make a cutting board? I think the most common thing people would say is that, well, it's gonna be terrible. Let's try it out. I'm gonna make one, and then we're gonna test it. We're gonna see what it looks like. We're gonna put it through its paces, find out just how terrible it is. I hope it's amazing. We need to stack the odds in our favor as much as possible, and not every board is created equal. So when we're picking our 2x4, let's not pick garbage. Let's look at the growth rings because this really matters. I think it's gonna impact our cutting board. This is a 2x6 I cut down. Look at the growth rings, and look how there's not very many of them, and there's big spaces in between. The problem is, that's just soft. I could put my fingernail in it. Now look at this 2x4. You can see that it has lots of growth rings all close together. That's gonna make it much harder. That's what I'm going for. The growth rings also play a part in the aesthetic appearance. Well, aesthetic and appearance are kind of the same thing, you know, but I guess it's really important. I try to cut all my pieces so that the frowny face or the smiley face is in the center as best I could. Now I'm gonna take these and glue them up so that they're all in the same orientation. That's basically just for the pattern. I just wanna do my best to make the pattern not look absolutely terrible. While I'm gluing this up, did you see the video that George Vondreska did with Jimmy DiResta on woodworking ideas and creativity? If you didn't, highly recommend you check it out. It's the type of video that you don't usually see everywhere, but you do see it a lot on today's sponsor, Woodworkers Guild of America. I like the style of their videos. You don't just learn about how to make a project, you get all the ancillary stuff too that just makes you a more well-rounded woodworker. I could watch a project video, but then I could turn around and read something about the best place to buy parts for your tools, or what type of electricity should I have in the shop. It's the reason why Woodworkers Guild of America is your online resource for woodworking instructions, ideas, and information. I've been a fan of George's for a long time, and he has this passion for teaching woodworking. So he brings in these experts, and they talk about their craft, and it just takes your woodworking knowledge just to a whole other level. Woodworkers Guild of America has some great live streams where you and your fellow members can ask questions and see tutorials, and if you miss one, not a big deal. Go to the website, rewatch it, and then binge all the other videos. You might be there a while because their website's filled with amazing woodworking content. But make sure you check out the video they have on step-by-step how to make an end-grain cutting board. After you watched this video, of course. They have an amazing deal going on. I'm gonna put a link down in the description. The first 1,000 of you that go down and click that link, you're gonna get a year's worth of premium membership to Woodworkers Guild of America for $1.49. $1.49 for a whole year. Thank you to Woodworkers Guild of America for sponsoring this video. I'm gonna finish gluing up this. Let's make a pine cutting board. Oh, I hope this turns out okay. My cutting board's a little bit too wide to fit through the planer, so I use the drum sander and it is nice and smooth. Now I'm gonna cut it into a bunch of strips. So I've got my table saw sled here, I've got a stop block, and I'm just gonna slice and slice and slice and slice and slice. Just because we're doing an experimental pine cutting board doesn't mean that we can't have a little bit of fun. So I'm staggering the pattern. Figured that might look kind of cool because I'm using the grain to my advantage. So it's gonna, have the grain that's like, it's a highly technical term. I cut bevels on the underside of my cutting board and then did a whole lot of sanding. that's really where I realized how big of a difference this is between a hardwood cutting board. That is, it sands kind of like sanding a marshmallow. It just doesn't want to actually get smooth. But I finally got there. I also sanded it to a pretty high grit too, to try to seal in as much of the end grain as possible. Next step is water. I'm gonna take some water, I'm gonna spray the whole thing. Don't wanna soak it, I just need to get it wet, wipe it down with a rag, let it dry. That's gonna raise the grain up, and then I'm gonna come back with some 400 grit sandpaper, just lightly sand it, knock that grain back down. The whole point in this is whenever I wash it, hopefully that grain will not raise back up. We're gonna see. It's back being smooth. Now I'm gonna apply a finish to it. Well, kind of a finish. I'm gonna apply some Butcher Block conditioning oil, just an oil wax mix on it, because that's what I would do for any other cutting board. I want this to be a realistic test to see how this does. But I was thinking about it. If I'm gonna test this, I need to test it against something. All right, there we go. Cutting board from hard maple, the weight difference. I mean, that's not scientific or anything, but wow, the weight difference is noticeable. So now I'm gonna apply finish to both of these. But then we're gonna do some tests. It's time to test our cutting boards. And the first thing I'm gonna look at is some durability stuff. Before I start cutting into all the goodies, I just wanna know, how many marks do you really see with this compared to the maple one? Now, all right, real talk here. I don't expect this to hold up as good as a hard maple cutting board. But it's not really about this versus that. That's just kind of a standard. I really wanna see, in general, how this performs. Knife. I'm just making some random cuts, because that's what the cutting board is, right? If I look at it, I can see, I can see cut marks. I can see cut marks, but it's better than I thought it would be, honestly. Huh. Okay. Let's try the maple one. Same knife. These are both in-grain cutting boards, so, you know, don't have any differences that way. And if I take a look at it, I see, I can feel some of them. I can see a couple of the knife marks on this cutting board, but, you know, nothing too bad. I got this, I got this. Let's try it out. I'm gonna use a bread knife, serrated, so that means whenever I cut through this, it might as well just cut through the cutting board, through the whole workbench, everything. The arms, this is a beast. Well, it passes the hummus test, I'll say that. I can see wherever the serrated blade cut right there. So I can see the marks, but they're nothing outrageous to me because, well, it's a cutting board. I kind of expect that. What do we have here? Now those are a couple deep cuts right there. If you're gonna cut them really tiny, like you're doing like a little soup or something, you wanna put little ones in there, move those off to the side. Hey, where are you going? Get back over here. What do we have? Besides some carrot juice all over. Okay, I can feel some marks. Nothing crazy. Let's do the maple. There's a big cut line, and there's one, and there's one, and there's one, and it's actually quite a bit. And I think that I was actually a little bit more gentle with the maple one than I did the pine one. And there's still plenty of marks on this. I think I want to try something a little bit messier, because at this point, I want to see how much these things stain, and then we could do the wash and see how much they clean up. Tomatoes. I don't expect these to be really hard to cut. It's more of all that delicious red tomato juice getting all over this board. And then is it gonna seep down into the wood? What's it gonna be like? And just for good measure, how about this? Little smear. Maple board, knife, tomato. Let's have at it. All right, about the same number of pieces. Ooh, that was a juicy one. Look at all that. Now I'm gonna go wash both my boards. I'm not gonna put these in a dishwasher. Please don't ever put your wood cutting board in a dishwasher. Hand washing only, wipe it to dry, and then it's always best to set your cutting board on its edge to dry so it dries on both sides. If it's all soaking wet and you just lay it on your counter, you could have a problem with a cutting board cupping or something. It's always best to put it on its side. I'm gonna go do that, and then we're gonna see what they look like. I love hummus, I don't know what to tell you. I got it all over me, but it's worth it. Every now and then I like a little bit hummus in my belly. New day in the shop, I washed my cutting boards and then I let them dry overnight because I wanted to see if there'd be any sort of wood movement as the wood dries. So let's look at the details, find out how they did. I think the pine cutting board actually held up pretty well. You can see the cut marks in it, but it kind of looks just like a cutting board to me. It doesn't seem like over the top atrocious. With the pine being softer, and it just felt like it would be a little bit spongier, I did expect to see some stains, and while they're there, it doesn't seem really too bad. It's much better than I really thought it would be. As expected, the maple board held up much better as far as the cut marks than the pine board. I can see cut marks. You may not see them on the screen, but I can tell you I see plenty of them. They're just not as pronounced. I was a little bit surprised at the discoloration that I see on this board. It actually might be a little bit worse than the pine board. The maple board just looks like it held up better as far as the durability goes. That's what we kind of expect for a hardwood maple cutting board. The stability, that's something else. I can feel all the glue lines. These pieces are not as smooth and flat as they were before. Using my table saw surface, this cutting board is dead flat. And it's also silky smooth. For this being construction lumber that has a lot more moisture in it, I expected a little bit of stability issues. Nope, this thing is solid as a rock. I did make sure that my 2x4 was completely dry and it had been in the shop for a few months. For the maple cutting board, this is from a tree that I milled up several years ago. It's been in the shop for a long time and it is completely dry. And as I was saying before, it's not smooth. I can feel every one of these glue lines, but check this out. Wood movement. Just because it's hardwood and not some cheap 2x4 doesn't mean that it's gonna be more stable. Well, what's the verdict? I can say that I spent $3.45 on a 2x4 to make this cutting board, and I didn't use all the 2x4. This turned out really good. Much, much better than I ever expected. I think that a big part of it though is making sure you pick the right 2x4 and make sure you have enough growth rings in there to make it a little bit more durable. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you to the superhero community over on Patreon for helping to make this video happen. And to meet again, get in your shop and build something awesome.